Why are we here? Why do we work so hard, strive to impress others, only to face death one day? These big why questions arise in the minds of thousands, especially for those who aren't religious. Camus put it beautifully. Rising streetcar. 4 hours in the office or the factory, meal, streetcar, 4 hours of work, meal, sleep, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday according to the same rhythm. This path is easily followed most of the time. But one day the why arises, and everything begins in that weariness tinged with amazement. Back in history, people were generally more religious, and that brought them a certain comfort. For them, one huge question was already answered, the question of existence. Religion gave people a sense of purpose in the name of God. Whether their lives were easy or hard, they held on to the hope of eventually meeting the Maker. But as modernity surged forward with Darwin's theory of evolution and other scientific discoveries, many began seeing religion as little more than a moral code handed down to justify existence. In the 19th century, Friedrich Nietzsche introduced a powerful figure known as the madman in the gay science. He famously declared, "God is dead, and we have killed him. We are the murderers." This wasn't meant to be taken literally. Nietzsche wasn't saying that a divine being had died. He was observing how Europe was experiencing a decline in its connection to God. At that time, science and alternative philosophies were taking over, especially replacing Christianity. While Nietzsche was an atheist, he believed that the decline of religion would eventually throw people's minds into chaos. Without religion, he argued, people would inevitably turn toward nihilism. Without a higher power or purpose, life's meaning falls apart, leaving us wondering, why are we even here? Why should we care what anyone thinks? This line of thought creates a void that can lead to depression and anxiety. And that void is exactly what nihilism represents. I've already made a detailed video on how nihilism has thrown society into chaos. You can find the link in the description. Camus' response to nihilism: if nihilism seemed like a dead end, Albert Camus introduced a whole new way of looking at life, absurdism. The idea is in the name, life is absurd. Camus used the Greek myth of Sisyphus to illustrate his philosophy of absurdism, which examines the clash between humans' deep desire to find meaning in life and the indifferent silence of the universe. In the myth, Sisyphus is condemned by the gods to push a boulder up a mountain, only for it to roll back down each time he reaches the top, a never-ending cycle of pointless struggle and futility. Camus reinterprets Sisyphus's punishment as a metaphor for the human condition. Life, he argues, is an ongoing struggle where people continuously search for purpose, fulfillment, and answers, yet these things often feel unattainable. This is what Camus defines as the absurd, the unresolvable contradiction between our need for meaning and the universe's lack of it. Instead of sinking into despair or nihilism in the face of this absurdity, Camus advocates for defiance and resilience. He suggests that we imagine Sisyphus happy, that despite recognizing the futility of his task, Sisyphus still finds worth in the struggle itself. For Camus, embracing the absurd means living fully in the present, acknowledging life's limitations, and discovering freedom by accepting that life lacks an ultimate purpose. Camus put this beautifully. Man stands face to face with the irrational. He feels within him his longing for happiness and for reason. The absurd is born of this confrontation between the human need and the unreasonable silence of the world. Albert Camus once said that he didn't believe in God, but he also didn't consider himself an atheist. He explained that even if there is a God, we would likely never be able to truly discover it. To him, this made the search unreasonable, and he argued that we should simply accept this and embrace the silence of the universe. Camus proposed 3 different paths a person might take to confront this reality. Humans are wired to search for meaning, but Camus suggested that one way to deal with the absurdity of existence is to adopt a belief system. Any belief system, really, as long as it's not nihilism. Pick a religion or ideology that resonates, whether it's Christianity, Islam, or some other philosophy, and just commit to it without over-questioning. Embrace it and stop analyzing it. Camus called this approach philosophical suicide, as it essentially means surrendering the pursuit of existential truth to avoid grappling with life's meaninglessness. Never ever do that. While life can feel unbearably harsh at times, it's a one-time experience. Suicide doesn't answer any of our fundamental questions, and for Camus, this path isn't a solution. Camus' preferred path was absurdism. This approach encourages us to discard the constant search for answers, reject established beliefs, and live with a few key phrases in mind. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Why worry about it? Why not? So what? According to Camus, keeping these in mind will make life a lot less tense. Absurdism accepts that our lives, with their repetitive routines and endless cycles, mimic Sisyphus's story, an existence that might seem monotonous or even depressing. Think about the daily 9-to-5 grind, where each day bleeds into the next. Camus saw Sisyphus's task as a reflection of how we live. But instead of despairing, he encouraged us to keep pushing forward, to break out of that monotony and try things we'd normally hold back from attempting. It's about living fully, experimenting, and taking risks. Lose your job? No big deal. Another opportunity will come. Try to think, who cares? Start that side project you've been putting off. Don't chase expensive things to impress others. Who cares if others might think it's a bit cheap? It's a life philosophy that says, why not? Why not try that new restaurant, go to that job interview, or attempt something completely unfamiliar? What's the worst that could happen? Camus believed that even if failure is inevitable, we should keep going, embracing life's absurdity and recognizing that in the end, we're all meant to stumble and start over again. Camus' absurdism teaches us to accept that there might not be a higher answer. Instead of despairing, we should live fully, defy our limitations, and find freedom in the journey itself. So what if you're earning less right now? So what if your dreams of building a business haven't come to life just yet? If the purpose of life is to create purpose, then every challenge becomes just another stepping stone. By embracing a "so what" attitude, the fear of failure begins to lose its grip, freeing you to take risks and go after goals that might have once felt intimidating. This mindset of not being held back by outcomes but rather focusing on the act of doing unlocks courage, resilience, and ultimately, a life led by personal ambition rather than the pressure of external validation. So, let's all accept the absurdity of life and choose to live fully. If you have freedom, health, and life itself, what more could you ask for? After all, even Sisyphus with his endless task found happiness in the journey. We're luckier still because we have the choice to do different things, to explore, and to make changes along the way. Instead of settling for nihilism, absurdism offers us something more. As Camus put it, you will never be happy if you continue to search for what happiness consists of. You will never live if you are looking for the meaning of life. There are 3 core teachings about absurdism that Albert Camus offers. Embrace freedom. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. You are not bound by the societal rules that everyone else follows without question. The herd mentality isn't for you. Friedrich Nietzsche also emphasized the importance of breaking free from the societal norms that have been ingrained over time. Absurdism is about liberating yourself from these chains and asking, why worry about it? It's about seeking your own meaning in life, rather than passively inheriting beliefs or norms, even if they stem from your family or culture. Life is yours to explore and define. The purpose of life is to find the meaning of life. Absurdism invites you to create this meaning on your own terms. Find meaning in chaos. The struggle itself towards the heights is enough to fill a man's heart. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. The world is chaotic, and each day it seems to become even more so. Nihilism is pervasive. People feel weighed down, hypertension is rising, and suicide rates are climbing. But absurdism offers a different approach. It gives us a reason to live. It encourages us to find our own meaning amid the disorder. Who cares if others think you're strange for pursuing your own path? They may already have opinions, so let go of that worry. Who cares if the direction you choose is unconventional or unexpected? It's your journey, and the happiness it brings is yours alone. Rather than chasing external validation or conforming to predefined milestones, fulfillment can come from pursuing your passions, building true connections, and cherishing the small moments. Absurdism reminds us that life doesn't have an inherent purpose, but it's up to each of us to create our own meaning. Embrace suffering. What matters is not the experience of suffering, but how we respond to it. Camus' life was marked by hardship, which profoundly shaped his ideas. Born into poverty in Algeria, he lost his father during World War I and was raised by his mother under challenging conditions. These struggles fostered his sensitivity to human suffering and social injustice. From a young age, Camus battled tuberculosis, which often forced him to confront the fragility of life and fueled his exploration of mortality and existentialism. These personal battles found expression in the myth of Sisyphus, where he describes life as a constant struggle for purpose in a universe that offers no answers. Despite this, Camus argued that we should embrace life's absurdity rather than fall into despair, finding joy in the struggle itself. His commitment to human rights and social justice during times of war and oppression, especially in World War II and the Algerian War, deepened his understanding of human suffering. These experiences brought him moral conflict, but strengthened his belief in compassion over rigid ideology. From these challenges, Camus concluded that suffering, though inevitable, can cultivate resilience and a deeper appreciation for life's fleeting beauty. Through absurdism, Camus invites us to live fully and boldly in the face of life's inherent struggles, creating our own purpose, reveling in our freedom, and finding meaning despite the chaos. Camus' concept of the absurd hero embodies his unique perspective on suffering, resilience, and the pursuit of meaning within a seemingly indifferent universe. His characters, like Meursault in The Stranger and the protagonist of The Plague, embody this ideal. They confront life's suffering and absurdity without seeking refuge in conventional beliefs or societal narratives. Rather than escaping into faith or tradition, they recognize life's harsh realities and choose to create meaning through personal actions, choices, and relationships. Absurdism, a double-edged sword. Absurdism offers a happier and more liberating way to live, but let's be real here. Camus's idea of not caring at all works to a point. Eventually, there comes a time in life where just not caring may lose its charm because, ultimately, it's rooted in believing in nothingness. The problem with these philosophies is they may turn you away from faith and herd morality, giving only temporary relief, not a permanent answer. The concept of "who cares" has also shaped the mentality of some people online today, like OnlyFans creators, or others who live without regard for consequence. Humans are meant to believe in something. Who made us? How can life arise from nothing? Have we existed eternally? How can the universe stay silent on all these questions? Such thoughts create a chaos that grows in our minds every day. If the answer is nothing and that humans don't matter, then the result mirrors the feelings of nihilism, depression, emptiness, and thoughts of ending one's own life, which is harmful. We can't just accept the absurdity of life without sometimes bouncing back to faith or other meaningful ideas. Humans are naturally driven to seek satisfaction in something greater, something that fills their sense of purpose. And no philosophy explains life better than religion. Now, That doesn't mean you have to believe in any specific religion, but it does mean we should explore why we exist. This purpose is at the heart of humanity's quest for meaning. Rather than solely embracing the absurdity, we can use it as motivation to explore, question, and seek our own answers. In doing so, one might find meaning in faith, philosophy, relationships, or other aspects of life. The key is not to settle with the idea that life is nothing and humans don't matter, but rather to use absurdism as a catalyst to carve out personal meaning. So instead of fully adopting Camus' version of absurdism, we should take its positive aspects, not the whole concept. Take Bruce Lee's advice regarding philosophies like these. Absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is specifically your own.